G'day everyone. Today I'm going to do a coolant flush on my 79 series V8 turbo diesel. It's done 160,000 Ks, book says to change it, and I thought I'd do a video because there seems to be a positive information about how-tos for these cars. So we've got the coolant, got the manual to help us, and we've got said car. Okay, so we've got the cap on the overflow tank. Everything refers to a little bleed valve, and that one there, if you squeeze it off and break the seal on that and pull it off, you've actually got a little bleed point there for the coolant. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go underneath the car and find where the bleed valve is for the radiator and the engine block, and then we'll start the actual bleeding. Okay, down underneath the car and bull bar, and just there is the stopcock for the bottom of the radiator. So in a minute we'll let that go. Okay, spinning around, we've got pumpkin there, and on the left hand side of the car, just above the pumpkin, we've got that there, which looks like it should be a coolant bleed. It's got a hex nut on it, so we'll whack a spanner on that and see what happens when we open that. Up under here, sorry to spin you around, there's evidence of a coolant leak there, so it looks like I might be up for a new water pump at some point soon. Anyway, we'll drain this all out, and there she is there, and we'll see how we go. Okay, action time. See what we can turn pretty easily. Unscrewing, lefty loosey, and there we go. I presume that's going to take a while to drain, so I'll let that dribble. Coolant still looks nice and pink. In all my experience, Toyota coolants are just fantastic. 160,000 kilometres on that, and just as it dribbles, there's no evidence of rust. It's been the same in all my FT 6-cylinder engines. The red coolant does a fantastic job. So never use anything else. Never go from a red to a green, because that'll stuff everything up because of different chemicals. Okay, looking from the outside in. Just got a steady dribble. There's something like 15 litres of coolant in these things. So it's going to take a while to drain at that rate. So while that drains away, I do a lot of work on my cars. I just thought I'd give a quick little rundown on tools that I use all the time. For this job we're using, well, a big pair of multi-grips, a small pair of needle nose pliers, and a 1/4 inch ratchet with some 1/4 inch long sockets. It's funny, you know, big cars and all the rest of it, but the amount of time and use I get out of these 1/4 inch long sockets is just astounding. The other tools I use all the time is a really good set of ring spanners. Got all Sid chromes, had them forever. And these days a set of ratchet spanners all the way from 10mm up to 19mm in 1mm increments is really useful as well. Recently had the intercooler off and cleaned out the inlet manifold. Really simple jobs, you know, you just got to go at it steady and just try and take some photos before you start, taking photos on the way through, and keep track of all your nuts and bolts in a container so that you know where to find things. Lay it out on the bench sometimes if you've got bench space, so that you can keep track of the order you've done things. But for the most part, she's all pretty simple. I figure if a mechanic can do it, then you and I can do it most of the time. Alright, next up we're going to drain the block. Those are just 20 litre drums cut in half, so there's about 10 litres in each one. And they make great receptacles for draining things into. As you can see, they're well used. They cope with the sun pretty well. They're years old, sitting out in the sun. Okie doke. Watch this space. Okay, take two. This time with a normal 10mm socket. Try and hard not to break anything. Okay, it's going to take two hands. Okay, there we go. 2 hands and get the stop box opened. It's 10 mil. So we'll let that little sucker drain for a while, not get us too wet. Alright, probably about 10 minutes now, and it looks like we've got 6 or 7 litres in that one, and there's only a couple of litres in that one, so we've probably got about 10 litres max out of the system. It's meant to hold about 15 litres. Frankly, I'm not that phased by that. I'm not about to start flushing this given how clean everything looks. I'm just happy to put another 10 litres of clean stuff in and probably change it then every 100,000, not every 160,000, on the basis that you're not getting a full changeover. Toyota may or may not sell some concentrate for this pink solution. I know with the red solution they do, and in my 100 series I would regularly just top it up with the concentrated solution when it needed topping up. Anyway, so next step is going to be to do all those bungs up, press some hoses, make sure that they're all empty before I start, then do all the bungs back up, and then I've got to refill it. Okay, further I was just talking about that filling it up. If we actually look at the instructions on the air filter box, then you can see that the hose from the overflow tank is actually connected down to the lower radiator hose, which means if we fill that up through there, then it should actually flow down to the bottom radiator hose and fill it up. So we'll give that a crack and see what happens. Okay, refill time. Well, that's the first 5 litres in, and it's been draining through the refill bottle quite well. We're now up to just below the B line, which is what the book says it should be at. The drain, or the aeration plug at the back there is still off, breather plug. So I might let just that sit for a little while, give the hoses a bit of a pump, try and get some fluid through. Okay, so we've run the engine until the thermostat opened, and the coolant levels, and I've been pouring some more fluid in, so it's dropped back down to that level. All the way through I've been thinking about how to bleed the radiator, and I've been really curious about this here with this little square hole in the top. So what I realised was, thinking about what was square, was that a 3/8 ratchet fits perfectly in that, and surprise surprise, when we take that off, hey presto, looks like we found a bleeder for the radiator to help the fluid push the air out. So I'll give it another warm up. Took ages for the engine to warm up. You really do have to give it some revs up to about 2,000 like the book says, because if you leave it just idling, it never gets to the 75 odd degrees that it takes to open the thermostat. Nothing came out of the bleeder at the back of the engine there on the heater hose, so I'll put that cap back on. So what I'm going to do now is give it another bit of a rev up and see what happens with this bleeder out, and then we'll take it for a drive and see if we can get the water to circulate through the engine. Everything I've read on this always says that it's really hard to bleed the air out of this system, so I shouldn't really be surprised. Okay, back from going for a drive, and pleasing to see that the level has dropped down to low, which means it's circulating through the engine. Everything feels nice and hot in terms of the hoses, hot to touch, which is what it should be. That's done, nice and lead valve there's up nice and tight again. I'm just going to top this back up to the full mark, and I think we're at the point of job done. But I'll keep an eye on it for a couple of days and make sure that engine temps stay about normal. In this thing on the highway, she runs around 80 degrees, up to 86 on a big climb, which is around that 80 degree mark. One thing I will point out while I'm here, a lot of people don't know, but this is your power steering fluid reservoir here. Always a really good idea to refresh the power steering fluid occasionally. It's not on Toyota's list of things to do, and if you don't do you end up chewing out your power steering pump and your steering box in the end. So every change, or every second change, I'll give it a full flush, and every change I'll suck out what's in that vessel there and replace it. I use a mix of automatic transmission fluid and cheap old engine oil 50/50. That's on the advice of a power steering expert who reckons that the pumps and the gearing in these cars is suitable for that. In big trucks he just uses pure engine oil. Alright, that's the end of that. I hope that helps other people. Remember, you've got your bleed valve up there, bleed valve there in the middle of pick, this fella wherever he is there, and happy days.